Well, he was saying the third leading cause of death in Canada are antidepressant drugs. So we could have this chemical pharmaceutical company receiving report after report after death, report after report of, serious injuries. It's illegal for that company to share. Let that sink in. It's illegal for them to share that information with you, because all they're allowed to say is antidepressant or treats depression. Now, let's flip this on its head. I've shared with you there's this natural health product, Empower Plus. Well, there are over 30 published peer-reviewed journal publications, all funded by governments, not a single one by this company, governments around the world, including the Alberta government. And many of these publications are in the blue chip, like Journal of Psychiatry, Journal of Child and Adolescent Psychopharmacology. It's illegal for True Hope to share with you peer-reviewed published journal publications funded by governments around the world. All they can say is the label claim supports mental health and well-being, or whatever it is.
Why are they keeping that information from us, Sean?
Because the public would lose confidence in the public healthcare system if the law was what it should be, that regardless what it is, chemical, natural, it should be the law that you have to publish all information you have on a drug. So it should be so that if people care, let's say they want to put your child on this antidepressant, your teenager, and you actually want to do the research, it should be that the company has published all 8 clinical trials so that you can see the successful ones and the failed ones, and you can see the reports of death, and you can see the other adverse reaction reports, and you can see whatever else, including, awful animal studies or the like.
I feel like we would gain trust from that, as opposed to the current system where we don't trust anything.
Mark, people don't understand how toxic the chemical pharmaceutical drugs are. So I just shared with you that the third leading cause of death, according to Dr. or Professor Alan Castles at the University of Victoria, are the antidepressants taken as directed. I followed up with him after the health show saying, can you point me to some further research on this? And he directed me to Professor Goetz, who is a professor at the University of Copenhagen, also a medical doctor, who is publishing quite widely and really backing up his research. And he's of the opinion that the leading cause of death in Western nations are the chemical pharmaceutical drugs. And they're so ineffective that it's crazy. So if you understood that there were natural remedies that were 100 times, 10,000 times safer for almost every condition, and that the chemical pharmaceutical drugs are horrifically dangerous, we would all try natural remedies first and only use chemical pharmaceutical drugs as a very last resort. Our entire system would collapse. And as I say, the government-funded healthcare is by definition the marketing and distribution arm for the chemical drug companies. And how can it be that the only treatments approved for serious health conditions are chemical drugs that had a patent when they went through the new drug approval process? And how can it be that no chemical drug company that I can find has ever been charged under the Food and Drug Act, like even of a labeling violation, something minor? It shows you that the system isn't there for our health.
Well, my issue is that, there's a place for pharmaceutical. There's some good things, but my problem is there's no balance. There should be balance where my main problem, and this is part of, who I am and what I do with my content, is I believe that Canadians and people should have the choice. If you want to go and do natural medicine first, you should have that option, and you should have all of the information available to you, which we have no information. I'm trying to look up stuff on ivermectin and where to get. You can't get any of that stuff in Canada. You can't even the information's hard to find about that stuff, or any kind of thing that might be preventative or keep you on a healthy lifestyle. You just can't find anything. It's not right. So I want it. Yeah.